G'day, I'm Ben. You're listening to Skull Sessions with co-host the Bearded Lawnsman, BJ. How are you?
Boom! What's happening, brother?
A little bit of everything. Weather's gone south again in Brizzy. Haven't had that much rain today. Yesterday was a shocker, but it's just still gloomy as all hell.
It's really gloomy out there, and the wind is horrendous at the moment.
Wind's picked up big time.
You have a bit of cleaning up to do.
Well, it hasn't been on my mind as much because I'm moving out of this house.
Yeah, fuck.
And because it's so wet, like it's boggy out there. Like it's just so it's not playing on my mind as much. But generally it does scat me out.
Yeah.
So how about you over the last week, mate?
Oh, well, Monday was a washout. I ended up at IKEA. Lucky there was some meatballs involved, so that made me happy. New guy started today, which is good.
Yep.
Absolute winner. His quality already is good. He's never been on the tools as a professional, but he's done his own home thing, and he looks after his place really nicely. And yeah, he seems like a good guy, but time will tell. I thought that about the previous guy, and
I mean, everyone. I think even Luke Smith might have said it first. Like everyone's on their best behaviour at the start. Yeah. So, I mean, at least like I've had workers who didn't even have the decency to put on a good first impression. Yeah. So, at least you got that.
Yeah, it was a good first impression, and we worked hard, and he was asking plenty of questions. Got along with the other boys really well, and yeah, like I said, he did pretty good for his first day.
Yeah. No, that's great to hear. So we're going to get into today's topic shortly. We'll just we do have a new review. We have a couple of new reviews. We're just going to read one today, so thank you very much.
So this one's from Shitseria Nation. Very, very cool name. As a passionate gardener, I love to hear all the chat and banter between the two fellow lawnies. Normally I'm boring everyone to death with my garden talk. Keep up the good work. Couldn't recommend the podcast enough. Thanks, brother. 5 stars came with that.
And we thank you very much for leaving us a 5-star review. We do have 53 ratings with an average of 5 stars. So thank you to everybody that has left us a review.
Really helps. It really means the world to us too. Means people are listening and liking, so that's good. Yeah,
and I mean, we don't want to talk too much about our stats, but it's good we did break our record again this past week.
Another record-breaking week, which is good.
I will say I got contacted by someone personally that was giving me some constructive criticism and some feedback on our Sole Trader versus Company episode.
Okay.
Now, I won't bother getting into names because it's not important, but, he was sort of saying like, maybe you should have an accountant present. You said one or two things wrong. One of the things that was mentioned was the company tax, actually company super.
Okay.
Or what you have to pay yourself. I said it was 9%. I actually thought it was, or it must have been at some point. Anyway, it is 10%, and I was wrong. I mean, look, I guess I say it now on air while we've got the chance that BJ and I are not accountants.
I think we stated that multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, you never know when people are chiming in and coming and getting amongst it. But
hopefully they're starting at the start. But.
Yeah. But we're not accountants. We're not lawyers. We don't have super businesses.
No.
What we're trying to do here is really spark the discussion.
Yep.
And give you topics to listen to, things to think about, and then you guys take it from there.
Yep.
Because I've always found, I was on the Green Grind podcast with Corey, and he said, what's your best business advice? And, I almost stuttered and was thinking in my head, like, you can fucking tell anyone, hey, be on time, work your hardest, make all the right decisions. You can say all that stuff, but whether or not the person that you're talking to actually actions any of those things is completely on them.
Yeah.
At least on this show, if we can talk about what has worked and what hasn't worked for us, get some of these discussions going, then people can sort of, look into those topics further.
That's good, man. I thought it was a really good episode. And I don't really mind constructive criticism. If someone's...
No, I was completely cool with it. I just wanted to, put something out there to everyone to say that...
Maybe I should just put a disclaimer on every single podcast we do. We are not lawyers. We're not accountants. And you should advise one of those two professions before you jump on board on any big matters in your life.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, even if we said something that was wrong, at the end of the day, like, it's not like, eventually when you do go to an accountant, they'll just be like, oh, that's not right, it's this. So you're going to get pulled up immediately.
Yeah.
We actually have a few comments on YouTube. BJ, do you want to just take the floor from me?
Can I tell a story?
Absolutely.
So I got a good story today. So not only was it good because I actually had a worker come to work, I also got a voicemail. So this voicemail, I must have been a butt dial or something, but in the background it sounds like... So this could... It's an older gentleman, and it sounds like he is masturbating. So I've let Ben listen to it. I'm not going to put it up here at all, but it's pretty funny. It's a bit of and a few of these ones, but
that's nasty.
It was weird. So I had no idea. I tried to bring the dude back because I thought I just missed a call, and I didn't listen to the message until maybe because he didn't answer my call straight away. I didn't listen to the message for
he's still cleaning up.
he's just mopping, but I didn't listen to the message for ages, and then I was like, boys, you got to come listen to this. When we finished the day, I put it on in the car. I was like, fuck, what's going on here? And it's just a big, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, boop, boop.
Oh, boopity.
So...
Yeah, that was my excitement for the day.
Funny stuff does happen. We've got a couple of comments from our YouTube regulars, which is always nice. So, Grunt, we've heard from him before. He says, keep it cracking, fellas. Really good listen. Annual leave, I had 5 days during the massive rain this year and about to get another 3 or 4 days due to more rain, which would be in total 15 days off. Just as you're saying, it has not slowed down, apparently. Far North Queensland, by the way. He also said he's not whinging, he's loving it, the fact that it's not slowing down.
That's good. Some people are just out to get those dollar bills while you can.
And it would be pumping up there because it's still legit summer growth here.
Yeah, I'm still filling catches every day.
Humongous over at WA says, legends, always loving the content. I'm all about listening to podcasts nowadays, but this is easily at the top of Hugh's list of audio ear loving. Keep it up.
Hey.
And then we have a comment from T.
Okay.
Just keeping it simple. Yeah. Love the language, don't worry about it. Oh. It's more real and not trying to get a church sponsor. Keep it up. Love watching your... I'll keep watching from your windows. Ooh.
Oh.
That's funky.
Cool.
No, so... look, I think we can tone the language down a little.
If we remember. If we're getting all passionate and stuff, it's just going to flow.
I just get worried that my mum's going to listen.
My mum.
Like, oh, Ben, how's your podcast going? Nah, you can't listen, mum, eh?
My mum's listened.
And it'd be like, oi, mum, fuck off, eh?
Yeah, mum, go to the pub or something. Nah, my mum's listened a couple of times.
I
don't think religiously, but, she gave it a listen.
Yeah. Now, just quickly, speaking of podcasts, we can drop a teaser for something.
Yeah, he dropped it last night on IG, I think.
Gary Ashton?
Yep.
Over at Aussie Lawn Stars? What did he drop?
Well, he's having a one Keith Kalfas come along to his podcast dungeon. Don't know what he did to him in there, but I hope he was kind.
So Keith Kalfas is, really instrumental, obviously in the American entrepreneur, sort of, helping people grow their businesses. Believe he has a business himself. Now, I haven't followed him super close.
Yeah.
I actually have reached out to Keith and maybe see if we can tee up an interview. But it'll be a great listen. This is dropping on Thursday.
Yeah, Conrad's just dropped.
Yeah, Conrad's has a pretty good listen. So that Keith episode will be dropping Monday coming.
Cool. Cool.
So keep your ears out for that. That'll be a really cool listen.
Wait, would you say Keith, your ears open?
Oh,
yuck.
That's a bloody good one, eh?
Boy, and some good news came along for me too. The pool that caught on fire, the pool shed. So it looks like insurance has come through with a win. And they said just get it replaced and send us the bill. So that's excellent. We already have a quote. And hopefully we can get that done ASAP. Because I don't want to fucking clean the dirty pool. But I'm a bit worried because it is as full as a googie egg. And all this rain that's predicted for the next couple of days, we already drop all of our water into our next, like the neighbour behind us. They already get flooded from our place. So if I can't...
Cannonball!
Yeah, if I can't put the pool to waste... Fuck, his house is going to look like the Brisbane River in no time.
Yeah, so, well, mine already does down there. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about all things line trimmers, whippersnippers, bipper dippers, blade edges. We're going to talk about it all. Now, I can tell some of the pros out there are probably listening to this and being like, oh man, this is a rookie topic.
Yeah.
But... now we are also we're a lot about the rookies, right? We're a lot about the newbies coming into this industry. But for all you pros out there and the veterans, stay tuned. We're gonna try and cover a bunch of stuff. We're gonna talk about some machines, different types of machines or different brands. We're gonna talk a little bit about battery and petrol.
The thing with veterans is they kind of get stuck on the same brand.
A little bit.
And time after time. Like, I was like that when I got the Shindawa stuff. I was like, yeah. Now I've got fucking bit of everything.
Yeah, and look, I think there's positives and negatives to both of that. But, like, I know contractors out there that they're still, like, they've looked at a speed feed head and they're like, I don't want to do that. And, there's certain things out there, not that you have to use them or even really that you have to consider them, but it's good to hear about them.
Mad props on the whipper gripper, dude. I finally got some good time on the whipper gripper today. I fucking love it.
Yeah, well, so the units, everyone's starting to receive their units now, and the feedback is coming in. Did anyone happen to see the product in the UK?
No.
Okay, so I'll have to get a link up for you later.
Yeah.
But
I heard there was a similar product in the UK.
Yeah, so it's called the Easy Grip.
Yep.
And I don't have any problems talking about this Easy Grip because it's not like someone's going to try and order one in from the UK. There would just be no point.
Yeah.
It's literally exactly the same as a Whipper gripper or a Darwin grip, whatever. But it's good to see the Europeans getting amongst it because they get shafted just as bad as us.
Yeah, I think they're ahead on the picking line. Do you reckon?
Well, they would be only because of volumes.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. They're only ahead of us because of volumes. That's the only reason why Australia gets shafted.
Yeah,
is because we've only got 20 million people here.
Yeah.
I think like the population of like
Florida or some shit like that.
I think the population of LA is like 20 million.
Yeah.
And for example, they can't even use any piston units over there.
Yeah.
So you've got, like the whole rest of the country that is, you've got potential sales for, which is, funding the whole industry. So, like we're gonna talk a little bit about trimmer cords as well.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about blade edging.
Yeah. Well, we did a trimmer cord video way back when. It was one winter and it was fucking freezing.
And I think you were just here with your kids.
Yeah, we were just here and we were like, God, you want to do a video for LMCA? Did we put it up on LMCA or did we put it up on
it's YouTube. Oh, we might have, but it's a YouTube one.
Yeah.
I haven't
looked at it either. There's a gif of me splashing. What was that?
Whoa, something just almost killed me.
Smoking kills.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was our first video together, I think. As a sit down, same table and everything.
Yeah, same location.
Same location. Ooh.
So, all right. So quickly, let's just talk about a couple of different machines now. We know, at least in this part of Australia, we've always had a pretty heavy presence of, you know, your sort of Shindewa, Echo.
Yep.
Am I the only person who calls it Shindewa? You call it Shindewa, right?
Yeah, I call it Shindewa.
Yeah, I'm like, hey.
Yeah, Shindewa.
Shindewa.
Yeah.
So like we always had a huge presence of Shindewa and Echo. I have not really had a ton of experience with Husky.
No.
Probably like the only brand. Like, I mean, I guess we do have a dealer semi-close.
Yeah, but he's a bit of an average. Like, he's more for residential.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not really up for the commercial stuff.
So instead of maybe touching on all of these different brands, I think one thing that I can pretty confidently say, any Bipper Dipper, so that's a whippersnipper for any newies, any machine that is like above $5.99 in retail price, you know, I'd say anywhere from $5.99 to say $7.99 in that bracket, I do believe all the brands are comparable. You know, with emissions these days, you know, CCs, features, you know, there's really only so many fucking features you can put on a bip. I do pretty much think they're all comparable.
Yeah.
Do you... Now, I know that if you haven't been a big still user.
No, I haven't.
And I have. I mean, I haven't had a still in a long time. I had an FS85 for years.
Yeah.
We also did run the multi-tools. I can't remember what they're fucking called. This is all petrol.
Yeah.
Now, they always felt like they had a lot more grunt, but didn't feel as anywhere near as smooth.
Okay.
As a Shindewa would.
Yeah. But I mean, that would have all been before all this emissions compliance shit came in, eh? So
yeah, and I mean, look, I think the still stayed pretty true to... Like, they haven't veered too far away from, like, the technology that they were doing 20 years ago. Whereas Shindewa, for example, they really did change it up a fair bit. You know, maybe, 4 years ago or something?
Yeah, I started destroying machines after that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, still good machines.
What do you reckon's a good life out of a commercial bippy these days?
Well, I got to be honest, I would want... like for a commercial machine, I'd probably accept no less than 3 years.
Okay. Yep.
I think that's a pretty good starting point to say, okay, is my machine getting a little tight? Yeah, don't get me wrong, I've had machines for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they weren't our main machine for 10 years.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know, you know, back in the day when I didn't have a lot of money and when I didn't care as much about equipment, I mean, I could have easily had one of my 260s for like 6 years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, well, I had a 260 for 6 years.
So
what brands have you used? Like, throughout your long career?
Yeah, so when I started with an Echo.
Yep.
Now, something that was really cool about that machine was when you pulled the pull cord and then let it go, it would fire on the recoil, when it went downwards.
Yeah, nice.
It wouldn't fire when you pull up.
So was there any resistance when you pulled it?
No,
so you just pull it and then let it go and it fired up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now I got no idea. This is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Something that was very funny about the machine was on a cold start, so every morning, you'd pull it up, you'd let it go, and it'd have a 2-second delay, wouldn't do nothing, and then it'd just go boom and just start.
Really?
You could get up and already walk off. You know, so
Sweet.
Now it turns out that machine, I accidentally left it on the side of my trailer.
Oh no.
And I lost it. So I mean that was way back, but because Echo was more prominent than Shindewa 20 years ago. And then I believe Power Up Lawn Care picked up the distribution for Shindewa.
Yep.
whereas All Power had Echo.
Okay, and that was before they were one. So now they're
when they merged, then Power Up Lawn Care lost Shindewa.
Yeah.
And All Power obviously ran themselves into the ground, became defunct, and then it went away for a little while until Briggs picked it up.
So as you name what you've used, I'll write them down, and then I'll write down what I've had, and then we'll see what we're missing. Because between us, there wouldn't be that many missing.
Oh yeah, I mean, look. So
I think Husky.
I know that I haven't had virtually any experience with Husqvarna handhelds.
Are we saying Husky and Red Max are basically the same units?
Yeah, I'd be pretty comfortable saying that. So from there, I had a Kawasaki machine.
And
it was mad.
But good things about those old school Kawasaki.
It was mad. And I remember I absolutely belted the shit out of it on. Like, it got me through more than one job, but like I was using it for maybe 12 months, and I did this job, and I just remember it went really hard.
Yeah.
And absolutely flogged it. I'm pretty sure. So like, I wasn't very mechanical savvy back then. I'm pretty sure it was only the coil that ended up going on it.
Yep.
So, but I don't think I had that machine longer than 2 years. From there, I went through Still.
Yeah.
And then really, like, I had Shindewas as well. So later on in my career, in the last couple of years, pretty much, since, because we didn't have Shindewa for a long time.
Yeah, the whole power thing.
And that's when I jumped on the Bush Ranger train. So, and then from that point forward, we've been using a mixture of Ego and Bush Ranger battery gear.
Okay.
Oh, and Still battery gear.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've had much else in between, but like I said at the beginning,
yeah,
I don't think that there's a lot of variation. So when people say like, "Oh, I picked up this Shindewa," or "I picked up this Husky snipper," or whatever, I always kind of look at it like, same.
Do you think mechanically machines will kind of come down to the operator? Because I know if you're saying that they're quite similar across the board, I've got machines that are the same age that have been used by two different operators that do basically the same jobs, and one will fuck out easier and quicker than the other. Yeah,
I'd say a lot comes up to the operator. I'm not going to get too far into it, but obviously we know what happens when you take a guard off a snipper.
Yep.
You are running all sorts of chances of overloading.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fact. That's number one factor.
Yep.
Number two is on and off the throttle constantly, because that's just engaging that clutch all the time.
That's one of the first things that I teach the guys. Yeah, I don't. You know what? That's one thing that I love about the Ego snipper. Is that's what
it doesn't matter, eh?
Yeah, that's what the boys have all started on.
On off.
Go for it. Whatever. It might chew the battery a little bit quicker, but that's all right. Better than a clutch.
There was a couple of things that I've learned along the way. Like I've always felt with a Still, and it's why I had such a bad stigma, or there was such a bad stigma with Still dealers and myself, because the Still machines, their coils go early.
Oh, okay.
And like, I didn't know how to replace a coil. I didn't know what a coil was, and I had a machine that stuffed out pretty early, and they're like, "Oh, it's the coil, we can change it, it'll be X amount here, and then we'll do this there," and I can't remember how much the bill was back then, but I remember when I finally started getting amongst it and I changed my first coil, I'm like, you fucking serious? You charge me what? And I had so many Frankenstein machines that I had coils for days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they just gave all your bits and pieces to Husqvarna.
Yeah, I just fucked it all off to Rusty.
Yeah, so now you can start franking bipping.
Yeah, so and one thing I knew about Shindewa, the 260s, their throttle cables would thrash out after a while.
Yeah.
Like, I just never thought that system where it was sort of like concealed, but where it went into the handle, like I would always get a brand new machine and I would tape all of that up.
Yeah, me too.
I always thought that there was really, I didn't think it was concealed well enough. And I thought that, you know, you
on
can
the
snag
260,
that. On the 260s, yeah. So,
you know, out of habit, I still just put duct tape on my fucking snippers for no reason. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, I obviously don't mess.
Like,
but since we've had our battery equipment, which has almost been probably 24 months now. Like I said, this whole bench used to be full of grease, full of WD-40. You know, we were always messing around,
cleaning,
even with brand new machines. And mate, we've done nothing.
Yeah.
We did have one tiny little hiccup with our ego trimmer.
Oh, okay.
That Rusty fixed. It was, I think, there was a spring on the inside. We didn't bother going to any dealer support. Rusty just, you know, he just loves messing with that stuff, and he said no, it's just so what was happening was the throttle was occasionally getting stuck on.
Yeah. And
it was legit just a spring. I'm not sure if it got any moisture in there or not. It hasn't been an ongoing issue, which is great.
Yeah.
But mate, that's it. Like, and anyway, look, like I said, I'm not a real contractor anymore, so
don't say that about yourself.
No, I'm just saying the stuff doesn't get used like it used to.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was different when I was, you know, doing 2-hour whippersnips.
Yeah.
Without, you know, the only time you were stopping was to refuel or what have you. So.
Yeah. I get you.
Now, can we quickly ask a question?
Yeah.
Are you still using the alloy Tanaka style heads?
I am.
Okay.
I am, but
can you walk everyone through that process, like what, or like the design setup?
Okay, so the Tanaka heads, they're very low profile, so we do villages, and a lot of the villages have little patches of grass that aren't worth putting the mower on. So we just flatten those, and I found the Tanaka style heads with their really low profile, they just are so much nicer, especially with a diamond edge line to just skim over and snip is very efficient, and they have a really nice cut on them. I find with the bump feeds, kind of got to lay them over a little bit and do it that way, so you're only cutting with like one face of the, you know, the arc. But when you've got those Tanaka heads, you can just lay it flat and you can just, you know, rip across and you get a nice smooth finish. So
do you have any speed feeds on any machines?
On the Ego, I've got a speed feed. So I do know that someone actually...
Is it a rapid reload or not?
Yeah, it's a rapid reload.
You can get them from where?
Oh, I think I got mine from catchpro.com.au.
Beauty.
Yeah.
So
that's the only one I've got a speed feed on, and it's good because, again, it's an excellent machine for guys to start on. It's lightweight. The backpack it hasn't bothered anyone so far. You get a good run time out of it, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a pleasure to use. So yeah, that's one of my favourites. That's where the Whipper Gripper went. So
now, just quickly, we'll get into some different style heads. So I think I may have told the story on here before, so I won't go into it fully again. But I also used to use the alloy heads, and when we picked up our village, the whole thing is 12 acres of bricks. All the roadways, all the driveways, pathways, it's all bricks. So I'd have the guys bipping the weeds out.
Yeah.
I know that we should be using pre-emergence and stuff like that, but sometimes, you know, it gets away from you and you just got to snip those weeds,
That's
right?
It.
Now, there is a hazard with these alloy heads.
There is a very big hazard.
And if you got some jerk just wearing them down, they will explode.
Yeah.
And it was never a problem for me.
No, personally, it's never been a problem, but
I know, I've had them explode.
As a guy with staff, yeah.
So what I had to do was we went to the speed feed style, and, you know, I like to just personally in my business, if I was going to make my workers do something, then I would do it too.
Yeah.
So I went to speed feed style, and I never went back, and I wouldn't go back.
Yeah. So the boys,
I think it is the best style head.
The boys have asked me if we can get speed feeds on all of them.
Yeah.
And all,
just flick on the website.
No. Yeah, you can pay for your own fucking head if you want one. I love the Tanaka style head, but I do need to.
I think Rusty still runs one on a machine.
I like
he goes through stages.
They last forever. They, you don't. Oh, I don't know. It's just what I'm used to. I guess people would look at it and go, "You fucking caveman." But
now there's a lot of. So in saying that, I actually believe that the speed feed style head, whether it's the rapid reload or let's say a GA speed feed or even the stock, like I know Shindewa used to have a pretty good speed feed that they had. Not sure what the Husky ones are like.
I think the Echo and
Echo and Shindewa were good.
They're genuine speed feed heads. Like I'm pretty sure, like the brand is actually called Speed Feed.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think they come with pretty decent ones. I'm not sure what the other brands are doing. The Ego one was just a little bit deep.
Yeah,
to me, sort of like all knob, no shaft.
I can relate.
So, but the downside to the speed feed is when you are just constantly skull dragging it, then you can also wear at least now we can get spare caps.
Yeah.
And you can buy a spare
They're
caps.
not something that was available back in the day, was it?
Look, I don't think so.
So now you go into a dealer and you see like a box of caps.
You go into Southside Mower Centre.
Yeah, he's got
like a whole bloody
bin crate of them.
And we keep ones for our styles here, but not on the scale that they do, because contractors just walk in and grab like a handful of them.
Well, I noticed that my Tanaka style head, mine will stay all shibby for way longer than the boys, because they must touch up the concrete a little bit more than I do. So I've just learned to hover. They fucking burp.
Yeah.
But
so quickly on those heads, you mentioned that you use 3.3.
I've downgraded to 2.7.
Okay, well we'll get there. Did you ever bore out the little notches?
So back when I first started, yes, I had to, but then the new ones have come out with a wider gap.
Okay.
So you could just click it straight through. You have to use your muscles, but you can get it through. The thing that I found with the Tanaka style head is I feel like they get a higher RPM. Like a higher rotation.
Possibly.
I feel like they're lighter than the speed feeds.
Well, I'd say that's an aerodynamic thing.
Yeah.
Because they're probably I'd say that they're about as heavy as each other.
You reckon?
Potentially, there is a lot of variables. Like you'd have to be using exactly the same style cord.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have the same length, stuff like that. But look, I would say there is some truth to what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's good. Like you don't want them bogging down or anything.
No. I find it really good for slashing too. Like when we hit a shitty yard, we can slash really easily. I feel like stuff doesn't get caught up on them as much as it gets caught up on a speed feed. So yeah, it's I just like them as a good all rounder. But I do totally understand the love of speed feeds.
Genuine question, like do you think you lose time rewiring it and then getting yourself extra cord every so often? Because it is just a bump.
I'd say there is a bit of time lost there. But
if you're comfortable, it's all good, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I should do it for the guys because they want it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, well, I've got like a backlog because I buy everything in bulk.
Yeah, I mean they would. I believe that they last longer.
Yeah, they definitely last longer.
And they're definitely easy. Like you can show an idiot how to do a speed feed once, and it's all good. Now, I would also say that about the alloy head, but you literally have to be shown.
Yeah,
Can't be really walked through it.
Yeah.
You got to be like, you got to feed it through this bit.
Yeah, you got to feed it in the back, and then you got to get your cord right, and then unless you want to waste a bit of cord, but then you'll got to wrap it around, and yeah.
What about Rusty? Used to do a remix, and he used to have four coming out. So I was going to quickly talk about some of these gimmick heads.
The whisker ones.
Which ones are they?
The whisker the ones that are like from Still and shit. You know how you get the little pieces of line?
Oh.
The twigs. Yeah. The little twigs of line.
Yeah, that's nasty. All of that stuff. Like that stuff, like, I hope there's no contractors using any of that stuff.
There's a few.
We got this gimmick one from China.
Yeah.
When we were searching for like our speed feed heads.
Yeah.
Because you have to look at a few different types and look at the quality control and look at the depth and stuff like that. We wanted to get something as close as we could to the speed feed.
Yeah.
And anyway, we saw these. They're just like a little cylinder, like a knob.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
And I can't remember exactly what you do. I think you just quickly undo a screw and you just loop this stuff in and then close it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, you look at these ads and they're like, oh, new and improved and rah, rah. Biggest chunks of shit I've ever seen. And then in the dealerships, you'll see it's an alloy head, not like yours.
No.
And it just takes those one lengths.
Yeah, the sticks.
You just loop it.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Like how.
Like as a homeowner, you could as a homeowner here. I mean, I'm on half an acre. I couldn't even get through one service of my own property without having to rewire.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Yeah, even with like 3.3, I definitely couldn't use them on a village situation. Like that's a good hour and a half at least of snipping on, for three guys.
Yeah, so quickly, can we just talk about cord now?
Yeah.
This is easier for me to talk about now that I'm a supplier for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a consumer, so.
Yeah, but usually when you're a consumer, because it's a cost, it's an expense. You can't just go out trying all of this shit.
No, well, I kind of have, in respect that there are smaller spools. I have noticed though, there's a bit of a lot of empty slots when you go to most mower shops. How are you for supply? You all G?
No, we're struggling big time. Okay. And I haven't even looked lately because I know that it hasn't been good.
Yeah.
I mean, it pretty much all comes from China, so I don't know what the hell's happened.
It's shipping, I'd say. It's all got to do with shipping.
So
I don't know if their manufacturing capacities are shot, but I know that shipping's a massive issue.
Yeah. So in my career, I can remember, like, if you went back 10 years, I was choosing a cord based on its colour.
Okay.
Literally not its spec at all.
Racist.
Yeah. So I remember still had. So I had two local dealerships. One I would go to for materials and not tools but materials and consumables like your oils. No, I'd go to the still shop.
Oh, okay.
Kempy with a lift.
Oh yeah.
Today it's Kempy. Anyway, I'd go there. So I'd get still oil. Even when I didn't run still, I'd get still oil and still cord. I believe it was still cord. They just had the GA speed feed heads there when I was a contractor. So I could get all that stuff there. For repairs, I'd go to Darko.
Yeah.
They had I'm pretty sure the yellow coloured line that they had was probably just like a 2.7 round.
Yeah.
And the yellow colour was just fucking revolting to look at. So that's
Was it a fluoro or a vomity yellow? Like a greeny yellow?
Canary yellow.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm trying to be cool, but I'm not that cool yellow. If it was fluoro yellow, I'd be
Poor
like,
yellow.
yeah.
Poor gross yellow.
So anyway, that's when I moved up to 3.3.
Yeah, because I remember...
And then I'd call it BBC.
BBC.
Big black cord.
Yeah.
For any of you Sheilas out there that are thinking we're just being nasty.
Big black cord. Yeah, I remember that shit.
So, and back then we were grinding out
Yeah.
our alloy heads to accommodate it. When we went to speed feeds, it became an issue because you could, the girth of the BBC, right? You could get it in, but you're only looking at about not even a metre, maybe a metre.
Yeah.
I think you get 2 metres.
With the BBC, it lasts longer.
It does.
That's why I used it for so long. I found it was like, not only was it effective, you know, I loved using it because it had like a cutting, like, because I used the diamond, I use the
BBC, which is the round.
Yeah, so I just used the diamond, and I found it was really good for, you know, flattening and stuff. But I also found that it lasted forever. Like, I very rarely was filling my spool, and then we would like realise that we had the same spool of line on the trailer for fucking like 6 months.
So anyway, since I've become a supplier, I have learnt a few things. So the Diamond Edge is, which we call our Thrasher line, which is it's virtually like it's obviously it's not the same as Diamond Edge. Like the other brands have their, I'm assuming they have.
I think everyone's got a square, and everyone still has a cross line, and so everyone has like a vortex style line. So
I'm guessing everyone has a variant of them, but like the Diamond Edge, I'm just going to call it Diamond Edge.
Yep.
It's our Thrasher line. It's what brand is fucking Diamond Edge? Is it just Diamond Edge?
It is, but it's from the same company that makes Trailblazer and...
Okay, fair enough. Well,
the other one.
Yeah, so I was even going to say for the round cord, I was just going to use Trailblazer as an example, just because I know it's well known. But anyways, what I found was the Diamond Edge is great for slashing.
Yeah.
And it's good for concrete.
Yeah.
Now, your round cords, your circle lines, they really are. Now you can cross applicate all of these cords.
Yeah.
Because you do that.
Yeah.
Like you don't just put your Diamond Edge on when you're doing a slab.
No.
So one thing I learned about circle line is when you're running your upright edges, it doesn't walk.
Okay.
It really holds that straight edge. Now you can still slash with it.
Yeah.
I can totally understand why the Diamond Edge would be way more effective.
Yeah.
Now the Vortex, which is our Zephyr line, what is great about that is it's quieter.
Yeah.
That's why we call it Zephyr.
Yeah, I've got some on board.
Now, if you Google Zephyr, right? Because what we do here at Catch Pro is we kind of have like a box of gimmicks. I've got like names of products already in my head. And once upon a time, Catch Pro was going to be called like Zephyr Industries.
Oh,
just because I fucking like the name.
Yeah.
Then I fucking Googled it, right? Get on your Google machine and Google Zephyr.
Okay.
You know what it means?
What?
It's a light wind or a gentle breeze.
Oh, perfect fit.
So when I did that, like I always thought of like the Catch Pro as like a, you know, like this is a fucking Catch Pro, you know. And then I just like the name Zephyr, and then I was like, this thing ain't a fucking gentle breeze. So I kept that in the box of gimmicks, and when I was looking into the trimmer cords and saw the Vortex, and I thought, I can use Zephyr here.
Yeah.
So that's a little sidebar.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
But Vortex is also, look, I do believe, so one thing about Vortex, everyone, is you can go to a bigger diameter but have less load because it's platted. It's a twist line. Okay. Even though you've got a bigger diameter, there's not as much volume there.
Yeah.
I fucking hope I said that right.
Yeah.
I know what I know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying it.
No, you said it right.
So theoretically, you can run a 3.3 and it won't be as heavy as a 3.3 circle line.
Yeah.
So
well, I wonder if a diamond 3.3 is heavier than a circle 3.3.
I wish I knew the answer, like right off the top of my head. It just feels like it's going to be more.
Yeah.
I've always felt that even when I ran 2.7 Thrasher, I always felt it was heavier than say a 2.7 Reaper or whatever. Yeah. Now, funny thing, right? I stepped down to 2.7 when I went to battery equipment
yeah.
because you don't want that load.
No.
And they've got so much torque. You don't really, it doesn't feel like you need it.
Yeah.
Now, tell you what, since then, I've taken another step down to 2.4. Now, 2 years ago, or even a year ago, on LMCA or if I saw a contractor, if they're like, oh, I'm using 2.4, I'd be kind of like, newbie, and I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
I am absolutely loving 2.4.
Well,
it is so zippy. It just cuts through the grass.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, even today on LMCA, Gary posted up a video.
They're like 2 mils.
Yeah, 2 mil line.
I don't think I'd be messing with
That's a
2
bee's dick. When you rip through those passages?
That's a pube.
That's a pube, yeah. That's one of my warrior fucking beard hairs.
That's like a really coarse pube.
Oh,
Gary,
man.
what are you doing using pubes for trim line?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? No, but that's I would never walk into the shop and get 2 mil, but obviously he has a call for it. I would fucking chew through that because I still chew through a bit of so I had 2.4 on the Ego when I first got it, and I kind of liked it, and that's when I stepped down to 2.7 because I didn't want to make the full leap. I just wanted to put the tip in. So yeah,
I'm honestly not sure. I don't think I've tried it. I'm not sure how the Ego would actually handle 3.3.
Oh, not too bad.
Hey, you've done it?
Yeah, I've done it. It's just, it's not what it's really designed for. It's
really
got
isn't.
so much torque though that
It doesn't need it, no. So,
but it does. It's got tons of torque, but you just can't because it has the amp cut off. Like the heavier the line, obviously the
that's
less
right.
torque you
Yeah.
get
So
out.
I think maybe if you had the guard on there and you kept it within its limits, maybe it wouldn't.
No, I think it'd be
Yeah.
fine.
So one thing I want to bring up now, while I remember, is with the speed feeds, you've generally got like a 450 and a 375.
Yeah.
And we always get asked, like, on the website for our rapid reloads over at catchpro.com.au, we get hit up and they're like, oh, I see you got 2 options. This is what Bipper I got. What which one should I get? For anyone out there that was also wondering, the 450 is really used for your higher torque machines.
Yeah. It's a big hooter, eh? The 450
and they're
is pretty
solid,
big.
eh?
Like I had a 450 on my Bushy, my 301, and I was like, fuck, it's a really big head.
Yeah. See, I even still preferred the 375 on the 301 Bush Ranger.
Yeah, so we've downgraded to all 375.
But if you went to a I don't even know what the models are called, but it used to be the T270, the Shindeva 270.
Well, I guess like a 301 would be quite comparable to a 270.
I guess. But
But we're not using it like you'd use a 270. Like we're not.
Yeah, it's not
we're
flat.
using. We're using it for like villages and stuff. It's just
but like some of those bigger steel machines now. Once again, I'm not really familiar with all the models. I can't remember. It might have, like, I ran the FS85. I don't know if they're the 94 or the 10 fucking whatever it is, but those ones is really what you use the 450 for.
We miss out on a lot of stock too in just whippersnippers. Oh, look, to be honest, I love swinging a piston.
I can't
snipper.
believe how much I hate it.
But, yeah, I do.
Like, I use one...
If I had the choice, I'd probably pick the Ego. If I had the commercial backpack.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, just towards the tail end of my... So, like maybe around Christmas time when I was working... When I'd do the cruises and stuff, I'd get the Bush Ranger out, the petrol unit, the 262, and it's absolutely nothing against the unit. I enjoy using the unit, but like just even filling it up with fuel just pissed me off. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And then like just the weight and then the vibration. Like I am. Yeah. Like I consider myself like an old school dude, but this battery stuff, I'm all amongst it.
You know what's a good snipper though that I've got on board? It's a multi-tool. It's the M262 from Bush Ranger.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's fucking light as a feather, dude.
Yeah, I think
But I mean, if you're used to using battery, so I went from the Shindaiwa to the multi-tool.
Yeah, so I Oh, look, when I say it's heavy, comparable to what's out there in the market, it's relative.
Yeah.
Just compared to, like, what I was using.
Yeah.
With the Ego or the Bush Ranger battery.
Because you had the domestic battery stuff too, so...
Well, I was using the commercial stuff on the slide that no one knew about.
Oh, sneaky Ben.
No, it's all right. It's gone all through. It's in production now.
No,
so.
I definitely love to get some feedback. I know there's really good... Like, people really have good results with the Husky stuff.
No, they really do.
If I was going to buy another piston unit, so I've done Shindaiwa, I've done Bush Ranger, I've got Echo, I've had 2-stroke and 4-stroke, so I think...
I wouldn't be messing with any 4-stroke machines.
Well, I've got a 4-stroke I've got a Bush Ranger 4-stroke, and it's not a bad unit. It's a domestic unit though. I'll fucking laugh at me, Ben.
Sorry, that was a full natural reaction.
Oh, well, okay.
Is it a bent neck?
No, it's not a Benty.
Okay.
No, it's like a Honda. Just like a Honda. Don't laugh at me and look at me like that.
The dude that invented the Whipper Gripper. I hadn't been I've been holding off talking about this, but now that they're out there, like I guess I could say it a little bit. But he's talking to me and he's like, I just don't know how they're going to go on bent neck snippers, and because like he's just a resident, like he's not in our line of work.
Yeah.
We do some other business together, and
don't tell him to anyone with a bent neck.
And it was funny as like he's full quizzing me, and I'm like, dude, just don't even talk to me about it. Like it's full, like it's not relevant. I don't care. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, like I've got one, and I was like, anyway.
Sorry to any bent neck users out there, but realistically, they're fucking awful. I
don't know what's... I guess...
I don't know what it is about them. I just don't...
Well, they don't have a gearbox. Like, they got, like, a flexi shaft and...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing good can come from them.
It's like...
If you are a contractor out there using a bent neck, I'm sorry.
Yeah, tell us to get fucked.
But you really should upgrade to a straight shaft.
Try a straight shaft. Like, I'm sure, well, I don't know about with stock shortages, but I'm sure, like, your local would have something there for you to demo. It'll feel a bit weird for a day, but, man,
it's really going to open up, like... I think it's going to open up efficiency, and it's going to be easy storage.
Where do you put a fucking bent dick?
I don't know, hanging out the back of your trailer and hope the fucking thing falls off.
Man, you can't say that shit.
So, hey, we already know, right?
Yeah.
I piss a lot of people off on this. Which I found out recently.
You're fucked, mate.
But...
not as many as I piss off.
All right, before we get on to the next little subtopic, let's talk a little bit about bad workwear.
Yeah, buddy.
So everyone has been really awesome. We got our report back from Bad Workwear. Now, this was an experiment, right? So the guys over at Bad Workwear, now I have been around, their boots and bits. We've been adding a little bit. And, when we reached out to them and said, we got a podcast, are you interested? I think contractors will really dig this workwear.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was just like, yeah, all right, kid. Now, clearly he doesn't know what I look like.
Yeah.
Because I don't look like a kid, apparently.
No.
Apparently
I don't like saying things like that about
So, but when we got our quarterly report, he said, you know what, Ben? We are absolutely digging the contractor market. Guys and girls have been getting amongst it.
Yep.
They've been getting stuff, posting it on Instagram, which
Yep.
is great. So now,
I'm fully.
Are we going to tell people what we earned?
Oh, we can. Yeah. So
I think
yeah.
for the quarter.
So this is our sole income. So think about how much. So how long are we here for every day? 4 hours when we do the podcast.
Yeah, about 4 hours.
And then say another 2 hours, maybe 3 hours for editing and posting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really.
And then there's like all the.
I answer questions.
Then there's all the behind the scenes. So say another.
Wait,
4
and
hours.
I have to think of the topics.
Yeah. You think of most of the topics. I'm fucking absolutely bombed. Hopefully that changes. Like, hopefully it all works.
So anyway, we sold $10,000 worth of bad workwear. So thank you to everyone that supports us.
Huge thank you.
Because not only do we like the gear, we really believe in the gear.
Dude, I'm wearing.
I changed my shirt, but I was bad workwear head to toe. Even got my flanny behind me.
Yeah. Oh, you got your shirt behind you too.
Yeah, so
I got bad hat, bad boots, bad boot protectors, bad shorts, and a badass.
So anyway, straight to the point. That equated to $21 per episode. So everyone can give us a huge round of applause for earning $21.
$21. So is that each?
I don't think so. Oh no, sorry, it might be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's something. It's better than nothing.
I just don't like to think about it. So.
But
Come at me when it's a little bit more. Come at me when it's justified.
Yeah.
But want to thank everyone for getting amongst the bad work.
No, we do appreciate it. It's better than nothing.
Don't forget to check out their winter range. Now, it's really not that cold up in Queensland.
It's fucking freezing when you got to get up at 5:30 to pick up all your kids.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
AKA fucking staff.
Yeah, I was about to say, who the hell are you picking up at 5:30? But anyway, now that it's cooling down elsewhere, don't forget to check out their range of hoodies, puffer jackets. Is gangster enough. That Sherpa jacket.
Oh yeah, that's
Please
sick.
use our skull code.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting myself one, haven't done. So yeah, jump on the Bad Workwear website.
Use code SKULL in all caps. Don't forget that, and that'll get you 10% off at the checkout. And thank you again.
And don't forget to tag us on Instagram.
Yeah. Kayla. Her name's Kayla. She's another lady listener. Oh, actually, I don't know if she listens or she just used the code, but she tagged us up. Thank you. She
beauty! I missed that one.
Yeah, it was just a sneaky little one, and I reshared it. So, yeah, man, it's cool. Love getting the ladies amongst it.
And no, thank you, Gary, for sending me like a pantless selfie with his rain defender on.
What was that about?
Check out the pins on him.
I know.
It was like a top deck chocolate.
Yeah.
He has interracial legs.
Yes.
You guys would have to see this.
Oh, maybe you'll post it, maybe you won't.
Yeah, I thought he was posting it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I was like, yeah, well, now I've jerked off to it, it's fine.
Wait till you see his top deck interracial legs.
Yeah, fuck it hell.
Okay, so next part of the show.
Yeah.
So look, we've just to basically summarise, we've sort of talked about a few different machines. We've talked about the cord.
Yep.
Now, one thing we haven't talked about yet, blade edges, stick edges, atom edges, all of the above. Now, BJ, tell everyone, you're not an edger, you're not a blade dude, right?
No, I'm not. So...
Now, tell everyone why.
Well,
you need to justify this shit.
So I'm not a blade kind of guy because I really don't want to walk all the way. So being in villages again, I don't want to walk all the way doing the edges and then come back and do the snipping. because I've normally, when I previously had like two guys, it was me doing the snipping, the other guy was doing the hedging, or vice versa. So I didn't want that. So I do get them. So I get the fact that you could get someone to walk ahead, do all the straight edges with the edger, and then you could get someone to come behind them with the bipper and bip along. But yeah.
So tell everyone what you mean. Obviously, when you're talking about you get someone to come behind, obviously they have to do like the fence lines.
Yeah, the fence lines and the flat edges.
And then softening. Yeah. You said it at the same time. God. Yeah, you go, girl. The softening, right? So, and that's mostly due to ride-on work. Usually, if you just push money, you could probably get away without softening.
Depending on how
it depends if you're using the big Valboski bloody SFC 30 or not. Yeah.
No, we so normally we flatten everything. We normally soften every edge, and we'll upride every edge with a bipper. I do see the value if you are in residential and you're taking on lots of new clients, because sometimes the edges are just so fucked that you need a blade edger to rock and roll through them really quick.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, because we see a lot of residential guys and they will religiously say, I need either a stick edger or an atom or any of the variants of a blade edger.
Yeah.
And it's because when they come across these junkyards, there is no other way to really find that edge apart from actually having metal on grass.
Well, before how I was saying that we get screwed on bippers, we also get screwed on edges. I have never walked into a shop and seen a dedicated stick edger.
I can't remember seeing a dedicated stick. Do they have them? Dedicated stick edges, or are they just multi-tool?
No,
multi-tool attachments.
The Yanks have got them. Oh shit, the Americans have got them.
They don't listen.
Apparently, they don't listen anyway. But no, I think the Americans have tons of them. Like I've seen heaps of guys with the Echo. What's another brand that they use? The Steel, all that sort of shit. They all have dedicated
Red Max.
Edges. Red Max is a big one, which is Husqvarna. So they all have them. They just don't stock them in Australia, and as always, we're the last cab off the rank, but I think they're a good idea.
I will say
there are multi-tool options here, but
I would never buy a dedicated. So like, I would never personally run an atom.
I've got one and I've never used it.
We got one at the village.
I've never used the fucking thing.
We have used the one at the village. So I look, throughout my whole career, I never used one.
Yeah.
Until I started Cash Pro, and started befriending the guys over at Bush Ranger, and we built up that relationship. And at one point, when we were doing some sort of not sponsorship, but we would basically I would use some of their machines.
Yeah.
And give them feedback, and they would say, how can we make this better? What do you like? And they handed me a multi-tool stick edger attachment, and I remember thinking like, oh man, like I never fucking used one. And then I'd look at discussions on LMCA, and I could never figure out. Now, number one, I haven't done jungles in years.
Yeah.
And so all of my work is nice work. We're just dusting over it.
Yeah.
Right? But nevertheless, grab this thing. Now, if you put a Darwin grip or a Whipper gripper on it, and you got it on a multi-tool, it's a slick machine, bro.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now, the Mansion, when I was still doing the Mansion, what I would do, because I was running the battery equipment, it was, so on a 5 amp battery, you got like maybe 35-minute trigger, like flat trigger time.
Yeah.
Which I could get through it, but if I used the stick edger on the nature strip and a few of the edges.
Oh, I remember that.
And then dusted around, it actually became more efficient for me. And I really, I was at the stage of my career where I didn't have to rush.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. And I was only going to be out for a couple of hours. I didn't have 8 hours worth of lawns to do. So I could really get amongst it. But on LMCA, I couldn't imagine, I always looked at it and I always thought, like, one task, one tool.
Yeah.
You don't need two tools.
Yeah.
That's how I always felt.
Yeah, so that's how I am now, but I get, the only reason I'm like that is because I don't have the fucking room, really.
Now, well, so storage, that's another thing to consider.
Yeah.
Now, people have reached out to us about, having some sort of equipment defender style atom, racking.
Because they're an Australian thing, aren't they? They're not.
I think they're
made in Australia.
They have dedicated ones over there.
No, I think they're made in Australia. The Atom is an Australian product.
Yeah, but isn't there other brand? Like, doesn't Honda have one? And fucking...
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
No.
How good's that for an answer?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it wasn't until I started... Like, I was very one-sided before Catch Pride. I'm like, this is what I do, and I feel like I can do it well. But something that you said, working in a two-man crew, now, when I would go to the village with Rusty, just to toss it up a little bit, because I got fucking pissed off with snipping a whole zone. Like, it's, that it's going to be a 1 hour snip, and even if you do it at your absolute fastest, you might be looking at 50 minutes, and it's going to be at least 50 minutes.
Yeah.
You can't get it much faster unless you're cutting corners. So I'd said to him, yo, dude, jump on the bib, I'm going to jump on the stick edger, because if you look at you know what it's like now. You look at it, and everywhere you look, there's a fucking edge. It's just a fucking line. It's
crazy. Like a proper rabbit warren. How many units? 104?
Yeah.
Every single one have their individual footpath, and then every single common area has multiple footpaths joining in. It's fucking crazy.
And then none of the gardens have proper edges.
Yeah,
so they're bed edges.
Yeah, that's what
like the Americans do as well. A lot of them, they seem to have a lot of bed edges.
Yeah.
And that's, that's when they could get the blade edges amongst it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I really loved was working in that two-man crew, because you can break it up and make it a little bit more diverse.
Yep.
And it's be like, all right, man, I'm going to start here, come behind me, soften this, hit the fence line, and that worked really well.
Oh, that's
I really enjoyed it. But look, in a residential crew, I think a lot of two-man teams would be... So, like, what I used to do in my business was we had two different styles. So, a lot of people will, all right, I'm going to bip, you're going to mow. Whoever finishes first blows.
Yep.
The reason why we got away from that when we were doing residential is we just couldn't help. I always like to snip everything first, because you get all the muck on the lawn. And there's nothing worse than when, like, someone freshly mows something and then you just come past and bukkake it with...
Yeah, that's why I like to hedge first as well, because you can rake, but there's still going to be stuff hard up against the edging and shit like that. So when you snip past it, it brings it all out onto the lawn.
Yeah.
And you just get a cleaner finish.
And that's also why you work right to left, right? Yeah. You're walking backwards, theoretically.
Yeah.
Because the bip is throwing it behind you rather than throwing it back up against the fence line.
You know what? That's one of the hardest things I found teaching people.
I think the Americans actually do it the other way.
Do they?
So we go anti-clockwise. They go clockwise around a property.
Is that like the flushing toilet? You know how their toilets flush the other way?
Yeah, like on The Simpsons, right?
Yeah. No, but that's one of the things I found hardest to try and teach people is when they're near a main road that they have to use the snipper a little bit different to make sure, like, their paths just need to be different, so they're always shooting back towards that wall or back towards the footpath, not out into fucking traffic, because I work on some pretty busy roads.
Yeah. So, well, I would always, this is not, I know we're probably going long again on the show, but I always, when I used to take a worker to, say, a residential property or even a commercial property, I would say, yeah, do the circuit, and they just look at me like, are you fucking speaking Japanese?
Yeah.
But what I always meant by this, and obviously I'd explain it to them, but you have a starting point, you fucking start here at the start, and you just start working in that anti-clockwise position.
I love it. We do things so similar. Mate,
are you gasming right now?
Today, I said to this new guy, I said, mate, just do your outside. So the pool area, the big one. I said, you start here, mate. This is your starting point. You go all the way around, and you can just flatten all the way around. You'll end up back here. And you can go do the same thing around the pool, then around the pool house, and then we do all the straight edges. And Bob's your uncle. Fuck, man, he was on point.
And how like funny is it when you'd watch some of the new workers, and they'd be tripping out and they're just like, oh, the clothesline's there, I'll quickly go and do that, and then they're like, oh, there's another little electricity box, and you're like, man, just do it in the circuit, just keep following the boundary, and if something is about a meter or two next to you, quickly boop boop, then get back to the boundary, keep working your way, then you come and hit all your obstacles. It's
funny, man, like with the stuff that roll through, like finding someone with common sense is actually been a bit of a challenge. So hopefully this guy does pass the common sense test, which he already seems to be a fucking actual person. So that's
cool. It was the opposite with Russell. He has too much common sense that his brain overloads, and then he constantly tries to think of like the most efficient way to do something.
Does he start questioning what he's doing? But he's doing a perfect job.
Yeah, like I swear, like even at something as simple as him walking through like a door, just opening up a door, you'd swear like he'd even be like, there has to be a fucking quicker, better way to open
you just
up
see
this
little
door.
Sparks.
And sometimes you're like, Russell, sometimes things are just how they seem.
Yeah.
So, no, but so with blade edges, look, I definitely have a newfound respect for them.
Nice.
I don't think it's something that I would necessarily recommend. Like if a new contractor was like, hey, you know, I'm starting up, getting some pieces of gear, do you think I should get this blade edger? I don't know that I would. Like, I can see them being a really big waste of time until you know how to use them.
Well,
I think once you get to know how to use them...
I think the opposite.
Really?
I think as a new contractor, I wish that I had a blade edger attachment for my multi, because that's when I started doing all these fucking shit lawns.
Yeah.
So that's when I had to spend fucking $30 in cord cutting in these big dirty edges and... You know, get the shovel out and try and cut these edges in properly. And all that sort of shit.
Man. The shovel only ever came off for crackheads.
Yeah, well, so I'm going to tell a little story here. It's a terrible story. I want it to be deleted from the records after you've heard it. But, so we picked up a tennis centre. The edges on the front footpath had not been done in a fucking decade. These things, the path was maybe like 2 foot, not like... inundated, like each side had about a foot of shit on it. So I know people have seen worse and done worse, but now I don't have 3.3. It was taking a really long time to get through it, and it was all ropey. You know, see next Tuesday grass.
Yeah.
So it was really shit house. So
it actually took me a second to get that. I wonder if anyone else will. But anyway, that's cool.
So what I decided to do was, now I don't recommend this to anyone. I'm the only one who did it, so I'm the only one putting myself in jeopardy here. I used a blade to cut in the edge, but a bippy blade, like a slashing blade.
Like a circular saw?
No, it wasn't a circular saw either. I wish it was a fucking circular saw.
Was it the helicopter one?
It was a helicopter.
Oh, damn.
But my only saving grace is the ground was slop.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it was after all that, after the floods in Brisbane.
And did it work all right then?
It fucking worked a treat.
Damn it, I wish you filmed this.
Dude, I just rolled it straight through, and, like, it took me 15 minutes to do as much as it took me to do an hour. So it was a dodgy as shit. I mean...
Yeah, it just takes a minute to get those... once you get back in the swing...
Yeah, and it's sweet. Now we can do it with the Bipper.
Yeah.
But no, that's one of the dodgiest things I've done in a long time.
Yeah. That's all right.
Delete it from your memory.
I mean, I had a look at my YouTube channel the other day, and I'm doing a review or a comparison between the V-Ride and the KG.
Yeah.
And someone leaves a comment like, oh, I had no boots on. I had no shoes on. It was probably summer. Were you
on the machine, or were you just walking around the machine?
We're just doing a review. You know, machines are parked, stationary, not on.
Yeah.
Someone writes and they're like, "Oh my gosh, please tell me you're not going to operate that thing with no shoes on." And I mean, I wrote back. I was like, "No, like this was a review," but then I was like,
did you want to just...
I fucking use the V-Ride barefoot all the time,
Did you want to just fucking walk out there with no shoes on and just jump straight on it?
Well, that's what I would do if I was going to mow.
Yeah.
Now, in a professional environment, I would always wear my boots, right? But when I'm at home, it's like I just do whatever the fuck.
Well, I got a story. That everyone will remain nameless, but say I had this client too far away from me. I was doing a bit of a cull. I gave it away, and the guy who did it sent his workers there. First of all, one of them had no shoes on, completely barefoot. Secondly, they mowed the wrong house. They mowed the next door neighbours. It was the fucking worst shit. And I had the customer ring me. She's like, so the guys turned up. One had no shoes on, and they mowed the wrong house. What do you want to do about it? I'm like, well, you're not actually my customer anymore, but, you know, what do you want to do about it? And she's like, well, I want you to come and mow my lawn because no one's mowed it. I was like,
well, just while we're talking about that, now we're all about the pros, right?
Yeah.
But years and years and years ago, when I worked 2 days a week for EPMS, so I guess we're probably going back 10 years now.
Yeah.
On rain days, Scoop and Steve would wear pluggers.
Oh, really? So he didn't get his booties wet?
Yeah, like, because we'd have to go and clean the stairwells and, I'm guessing that was around the 2011 times. Now, I wouldn't recommend, it certainly doesn't look professional by any means.
No. Imagine rolling a fucking chunk of 3.3 across your tootsies.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do you snip your boots?
Yeah.
Look, I am not saying go out. I'm not even saying that it's okay or cool or anything. I'm just saying that I've been in environments where it was like not really frowned upon. It's I mean, if you're gonna look at the end of the day, mowing in the rain is just not that safe anyway. Like, so everything about it is okay, except I have a big problem with the vision. If your glasses are fogging up and you can't see fuck all. Like in, say, Brisbane summer days, it's raining and then you start fogging up because it's still humid as shit.
Yeah.
It's, and how many people do you see just take those glasses off? Now, it's one of the dodgiest things you can do.
100%.
Like...
Well, I don't know, like, if you're pushing a fucking push mower...
If you're pushing a push mower...
In pluggers...
Let's be real...
In the wet. Because you know how slippery it gets in pluggers? You imagine fucking slipping that foot straight underneath the deck.
Yeah, I mean, what if? Like, if a bullfrog had wings, it wouldn't bump its rear end.
No, fuck off.
But you know what I mean? What if?
Yeah, what if I leave here and get hit by a car? But, you know what I mean? It's minimising risk.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Yeah, okay. I'm not... I don't think in a work environment... Like, if I'm at home mowing... I'll be shirtless, shoeless.
Yeah.
If I'm snipping, I'll have glasses on.
Yeah.
Only because I don't like doing the little Asian eyes, like when you try, that you're expecting something. What?
Yeah.
I'm not being racist. It's not. It's true.
It's true.
I mean, I agree with you, BJ.
All right. Well, that's good.
So if you're a pro. And you're getting paid to do something, wear your eyewear, wear your boots.
You've always been big on eyewear, eh? Where the fuck are your glasses? I remember rocking up when I first started and
just everyone.
Young fellas, like, where the fuck are your glasses? Well...
Even DJ, if you're listening right now, you better have fucking glasses on.
Wear your fucking glasses, DJ.
It's just not cool. Like, there's so many videos on YouTube. I would love to fucking name and shame these people.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, like, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Who are doing, like, ride-on videos and they don't have glasses on.
Yeah.
Put your fucking glasses on.
I think, like, what is it? When you first get someone to come on to work with you, you say, boots, hat, sunnies, water, sunscreen if you need it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, for me, I'm a bit simpler than that. I'm like,
and I normally
just have your fucking glasses, alright?
I say get something to listen to because
and buy your own durries.
Yeah, stop sucking all me fucking durries down, you dogs.
I don't
have that problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's 2022 now. We know all the risks. Look, lots of contractors don't even work in boots. They just wear joggers and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I think at least, you know, you've got some protection.
Yeah.
I just think a steel cap is more durable and more forgiving. You know, you can jump in the back of a trailer, stomp your load down. You know, things like that. You know, if you're doing that in joggers, you get all shit in there and something can stab you.
Yeah,
it's more of a comfort thing.
Because I dig boot protectors when I'm biffing. Because 100%, like when you do a full day of snipping and mowing in a pair of joggers, yeah, you fucking get that grass bukkake foot.
Yeah, so I tried to pitch, like, I call them skirts. I don't know if anyone else calls them skirts, but they are. They're like, if you put it on your foot, it looks like a skirt.
If you put it on your cat, it'd look like a skirt.
Oh, I thought you were going to say your willy.
Oh,
and
my
I was
God.
like, whoa, you must have some serious
That's
girth.
some fucking girth.
Anywho, I tried to sell them to Corey.
Oh, okay.
Not even as a product. I just said, like, how come you guys don't use these? And he's like, what the fuck are they? And I'm thinking, like, because they all wear long pants.
Oh, okay.
They don't, barely any of them wearing shorts.
Fucking hot it is in Queensland in summer.
Yeah, but they got hot, like Florida, Texas.
It's cold, man. And my
Abalama.
My shorts are so short. My nuts are almost fucking hanging out of them. It's still not. It's never cold enough not to wear shorts here.
Well, I prefer.
I got big thick pins though. Big.
The morning is freezing in winter here.
Yeah, but I got those big meaty legs.
Yeah, I got.
You got little
ones.
Gary pins. Gary Pinders.
Except mine are just one tone.
Yeah, you got one tone.
No, mine are two tone as well, but
You still wear boots and stuff though.
His are like a proper interracial. All right, so look, we probably talked enough about this topic today.
Yeah, tons of shit involved.
We hope you guys and girls out there have taken a few things into consideration, just about your cord types, the heads on your snippers. There is a lot of good variations out there.
Yeah.
And then if you are new in the industry as well, and you're sort of looking at these aftermarket, and this is not just a Catch Pro plug, but some of these aftermarket bump feeder heads and stuff, they're really great.
Yeah. And some of the old contractors out there too, try not to be stuck in your ways, because there are other things out there. You know, if you've been in the game a long time, fucking mix it up a bit. If you don't like it, fuck it off and get a different one.
I mean, we've seen, like, I've just seen a lot of posts on Facebook and Instagram throughout the last 12 months, and someone will pick up like a new Husqvarna trimmer, and they'll be like, I'm really struggling to feed this cord in. The cord's snapping, or the cord is fusing together, like it's melting in there, and you're thinking like for decades, like, you know, for as long as I've been in the industry, I've always bought a new whippersnipper, and I've taken that OEM head straight off and just bunged on an aftermarket one, because they are so much better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're talking about the alloy, the speed feed, the bloody, what's mine called again? The rapid reload. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is. They're generally better.
Yeah.
Than the OEM variants.
Some of them are toy as.
Yeah, they're toy whack.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to sign out now. Don't forget to join us on Sunday for our next episode.
Yeah.
Until then, I am at Catch Pro. He is at TBL, and we are out of time.
Peace.